Tips with Tony. Tips with Tony. All about nutrition from your favorite dietitian. Everything you need to digest in your mind. Tips with Tony. Tips with Tony. Making you healthier one bite at a time. With Tony. Woo.
Hello and welcome to the Tips with Tony podcast. I'm Tony Marinucci, your registered dietitian, helping you get healthy one bite at a time. I am currently recording this in Scottsdale, Arizona. I'm actually about to fly out back to New York, and I just wrapped up the most remarkable week ever. I hired Chris Harder to be my business coach and mentor, and I'm part of a group where everybody in that group is just making a huge impact on this world and living a very successful and abundant life. And that is where I see myself going. So it only made sense for me to kind of stretch myself and getting in that room. You know, honestly, there's a certain amount of like money that you have to be making and certain places where you need to be in your business in order to even be accepted into the mastermind for Chris, and I just made it. Like, Chris saw my potential and the, trajectory of like where I'm going and where I'm heading. And so I'm really the small fish in the big pond in that group. And it was just incredible for me to just be inspired, dream bigger. I just wrote about this. I shared it on my Instagram. Like, if I'm being completely honest with myself, and it was definitely because of the pandemic and COVID and just like so much and building a business, like I definitely lost my spark, my energy. I show up when I can. And I know you're probably like, oh my God, but you're always happy. And like, I am happy. But when I tell you it's been really hard for me to kind of stay in that energetic, creative headspace, it really has been. I'm learning and I'm working on delegating more. And I have an awesome team. I have great interns and they're super helpful. And I actually just hired 2 registered dietitians. So they're about to start when I get back and I'm so excited. So it's definitely going to help me be able to kind of thrive and be in my element. But with that, I've noticed that like I haven't really cared much about my appearance, and I don't mean like body size or anything like that. But what I mean is like I basically have been wearing sweatpants, and I know a lot of you can relate to this, and you're like, "What? It's COVID. It's fine." Like it is fine, and I'm just ready to be done with it. I'm ready to be done with, waking up every day and kind of just going through the motions. And like, yeah, I keep busy and I get stuff done. And most people would say, "Oh, you're super productive." But when you get in a room of people who are showing up every day as their highest self, and you see what they're able to, the things that they're able to produce in this world, the things that they're able to accomplish, it really just lit a fire under my butt. And I'm like, I'm done. I have all this potential. I'm not settling for less. So for any of you listening, whether you are a dietitian, business owner, entrepreneur, mom, dad, wife, mother, father, I just said that. Maybe you're on your own health journey, you're on a fitness journey, your overall wellness journey, you're working on your body image, whatever it is. I want you to know that you can accomplish whatever you want to accomplish. Like the only people, like I was reflecting on, remember back in the day when like airplanes didn't exist? People who thought like, oh yeah, you could fly an airplane and like get from one part of the country to the other. I'm sure people looked at them like they were absolutely crazy. Like absolutely crazy, but it happened. It did it. People got onto the moon. That was a big deal. Now people do it every day. Like there's so many things in life that we think are impossible, so gigantic, but the only thing that's ever been like remarkable and that's made a stamp in this world are those people that really just shot for the moon, like sort of mindset, like just the people who really just believed in themselves when others didn't. So I say that to say it all comes down to who you surround yourself with. So this podcast episode is all about the power of proximity. If I had stayed in the other mastermind that I was in, which I'm very, very grateful for, by the way, because it got me to where I am today, I was consistently the one delivering, providing value, but not really feeling like I was getting anything in return. Whereas this mastermind, I feel like I'm the one receiving, taking in a lot of that information, and it's helping to push me. So the reason why I wanted to talk about this today, you're probably like, I'm not a business owner. I don't get it, but it doesn't matter. Whoever you are, if you're trying to achieve your health goals and you're trying to break up with diet culture, you're trying to heal your relationship with food, you're trying to be consistent with your nutrition and eat balanced and move more and drink more water, and care about your appearance too. You know, maybe you used to hide behind baggy clothes and now you're starting to wear cute clothes and cute outfits because you're trying to feel good every day. And I totally support that, guys. And I'm going to start doing that as well because I really haven't been. So call me out if you don't see me looking super fly on my stories. All that to say, it really comes down to who you talk to and what you listen to, okay? So the fact that you're listening to this podcast, love you, thank you. I hope that this podcast has really helped you to kind of see things differently. And maybe people near you and around you don't get you and don't understand you, but you get the fact that there's something better. You deserve better. You want to be free from obsessing over food. You want to not feel guilty when you eat anymore. You want to feel confident in your skin. And you're really striving to do that. But then Susie offers you this quick fix, detox tea. Like, it's going to be really hard for you to kind of work through that if you're constantly like hanging out with friends or people that are always dieting. You know, that's really hard. Or maybe you have, a spouse or a friend that like doesn't exercise. And so every time you want to socialize, it has to do with like going out for a drink or getting food. And it's like, it's not that you can't be friends with that person. You can totally be friends with that person, but maybe you prefer, when you hang out with friends, you go for a walk or you take a yoga class, or you go to the park or something a little bit more active. And it's not necessarily revolved around food or drinking or and so it really comes down to like who you choose to hang out with, because the more that you are in an environment where maybe the people around you don't believe in exercise, you're going to be less likely to exercise, right? Maybe you are go with friends like that are always like going out to eat and drinking, which is totally fine. But like the more you do that, the harder it is going to be for you to be able to say, you know what, no, thank you to maybe certain options. So it really comes down to who you surround yourself with and also who is taking from your energy. I'm not sure. I don't think I recorded a podcast about this, but I've definitely talked about it before. And I probably will do a podcast about like just those energy vampires. Like your energy is really your best asset. So like if you're giving your energy to people and they're taking advantage of you, that's really not going to be helpful to you. Going back to the power of proximity, we want to make sure that you are surrounding yourself with people who see your vision. So maybe you are toying with the idea of starting a side hustle. Do not talk to people who only believe in working the 9 to 5. They're going to shoot you down. They're not going to understand it. They're not the people to have a conversation with. Talk to people who are doing what you want to do. That is how I have gotten to where I am and how I'm going to continue to get to where I want to be. Is I surround myself with people who are 10,000 steps ahead of me. But there were also once where I was. And I think this is a misconception that a lot of people have. Like we look at people's highlight reels, we see what people like have already made it. We forget that, most people do not become successful overnight. It's really rare. And honestly, those that do tend to self-sabotage it. So those who are truly successful in any field had to work really hard, and they know what it feels like to not have what they currently have. So don't be fooled by this perception that, people have it all together and they never struggled. That's an absolute lie. The one thing I actually identified being in that room is that everybody still feels insecure, fearful, vulnerable. They are scared when they make big, audacious goals. But you know the difference between someone who's successful and somebody who kind of wastes their whole lives and looks back 20 years later saying, I wish I would, is those who feel the fear, they do it anyway. So even throughout like me, like this whole experience and being around people, it's super intimidating. And these thoughts of self-doubt definitely come in, right? I'd be lying if I said it wasn't true. The difference is I know not to believe them. I know not to flip them. I acknowledge them and I'm like, oh, you know what? That's the scared little child in me. That's the older version of me. But, I know I got this. I'm surrounded by people who've done it before. I have the tools. So in this mastermind, it's not just about like being around inspiring people, but we're learning and we have tons of strategies and it's super helpful. So I'm going to be good. I know I'm going to be good. And the other reason why I know I'm going to be good is because I'm not going to quit. I'm never going to stop. So I'm just going to keep trying harder. So whether it's 35, 45, 55, where I make it and I have my own talk show and I have the big dream and, my book, everybody has my book and, my messages go viral and I'm coaching all these other registered dietitians. Like that's what I see. That's what I see in my future. And when I say coaching registered dietitians, I mean coaching them to coach clients. That's at least for right now. A lot of people ask me, actually, as a registered dietitian, nutrition coach, entrepreneur, a lot of people do ask me to coach them. And unfortunately, I would love to, but right now it's not on my heart. Maybe in 5 years from now it will be, but right now my heart is with people who are just striving to live a healthier lifestyle and get rid of all that negative body image dysmorphia and the belief that they can't reach their health goals unless they, kind of hide themselves and lock themselves in a box and never get out. Like that's where my heart is right now. With that said, if you are an entrepreneur of any kind, it doesn't need to be a nutrition coach or a registered dietitian, just an entrepreneur who has you don't even really need an online business. It's mostly for people who are online businesses. But if you just have any type of business, literally, or maybe you're thinking of starting a business, my coach, Chris Harder, he works so I'm in his elite mastermind. So like I said, you have to be at a certain level in order to apply and to get in there. But that's already closed off and that's done. However, he has what's called the Fast Foundations Mastermind. And that's for anyone that's making anywhere from $0, so brand new business, all the way up to $500,000 a year. So if you are in that bracket, you can be in that room. You can be the small fish in the big pond. That power of proximity, those are the people that you want to be with. And you are going to learn so much. So although you won't be coached directly from Chris, I believe you'll have group calls with Chris, but he has coaches under him who will coach you. And I know this guy so well. Like, well, let me just tell you, he brought in for the elite, the best of the absolute best, like some really incredible people in the online space. So he knows a lot of people. So I know for a fact that his coaches are going to be the absolute best coaches for you. So I think that the Fast Foundations Mastermind is incredible for anybody who is just starting out, or maybe you're making $100,000 a year or $10,000 a month and you kind of are stuck here and you want to just produce past that, whatever it is, you're going to learn everything that you need to know, from marketing, from strategy, through content creation, through, should you build a website? Do you need a website? A lot of people think they need a website in the beginning. Trust me, you probably don't. Instagram is totally fine. There's just so much that you're going to learn. And with the Fast Foundation, so one thing I like about the Elite Mastermind, it was really limited. I think there's 35 of us, or maybe even less than that. It was a really small group. It was super intimate. With Fast Foundations, I believe there's 100 members. It's still limited though, because you can imagine it's also not just run by Chris Harder. It's also with his wife, Lori Harder, who wrote the book, A Tribe Called Bliss. They're incredible. And so they have a gigantic following. So that 100 people goes by really quick. So you definitely want to get on it. But all that to say, you're going to have even more connections than, what I currently have with the Elite Mastermind. You're going to have so many connections. And I'm honestly telling you this because I don't do coaching and people come to me to coach them all the time. And I love you and I respect you and I'm grateful for you and I appreciate you. And thank you for looking up to me and saying that I am inspiring to you. It's just really just not on my heart. I don't have the energy, the time. Right now, I'm dedicated to helping those who are trying to commit to a healthier lifestyle and heal their relationship with food. That is my forte. But if you want to start a business, scale a business, start, making good money, but more importantly, better impact, good impact, then I highly recommend Chris and Lori's Fast Foundations Mastermind. So I put the link in the show notes. So go there to sign up. You could also message me on Instagram if you have any questions about it. We're more than happy to answer them for you. All right, that is it for me today. Make sure you are surrounding yourself with people who get you, who inspire you, whether that's physically in person, whether it's who you communicate with via social media, Zoom calls, or what you listen to. All super, 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 super important. Okay. All right, guys. If you are new to the podcast, thank you so much for being here. Welcome. Please definitely don't hesitate to hit that subscribe button. As always, I'm Tony Marinucci, your registered dietitian, helping you get healthy one bite at a time.